It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, my friends, I got a great human interest story for you today. These are the kind of shows I really enjoy doing. A story about a young girl, Angela McNally, who was born and raised for a while in Uganda, in Africa. And the story she has to tell and what she's done with her life is amazing. And you'll think to yourself, well, how can I as an individual contribute to society like Angela did? And so, Angela, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Sam.
I became interested in you when you came on our news and talked about what you're involved with, which is Friends Can Make It Happen, which I think is good. But let's go back in history a little bit, okay? Tell me your story. You were born and raised and what happened in Uganda.
Yes, my name is Angela. Like you said, I was born and raised in Uganda. Uganda is found in the eastern part of Africa. And I'm from a family of 5. I have 4 brothers, and my parents died of AIDS. AIDS was very rampant in Africa in the 80s and 90s. So many people died. And that took away my family. My father was a military man. He went to war, and when he came back, he had lots and lots of women, so he got AIDS. And then to my mom, then my sister. But the thing is, in Africa, people died of AIDS because of ignorance. People had no idea how they were getting AIDS. People thought it was witchcraft, or because so-and-so is educated, because so-and-so is rich, because so-and-so is this way. So it took so long for people even to get to know what was really killing them. I remember my father telling me one day, saying, you know, I am this way because somebody is doing witchcraft to me. That wasn't the case. The case was AIDS was it is a sexually transmitted disease, and it can be carried through blood transfusion and so many other ways. So that took away my family. I lost my father at a very young age. My mother passed away. My little sister, they all died in my hands. So I grew up, I know what it is to lose a loved one, you know, so young, and I have them in my hands, and I was left in hands of nobody. My grandmother was too old. She was already sick, and sometimes she could not even afford giving me 1 meal a day. 1 meal a day. So I was exposed to child labor. I had to work to get what to eat. I had to work to bring something home. Life became so hard. Can you imagine digging the dirt to get sand? Because I used to do that, get the sand, dig out a truckload of sand and sell it for $1. Whole truck for $1. Because it is so poor over there that a couple of years ago, the annual income for Uganda was $320. Annual income, that's how much somebody would make a year. Imagine you have children, they have to go to school, you have to put a roof over their head, clothing. It's impossible. You know, that's why most people are not even educated, because you have to pay tuition for your kids to go to school. So tell me how you can make $320 a year and put your children in school. It's not gonna work. So most people are very uneducated because of poverty. So I am so lucky that somebody helped me. Somebody came and helped me and put me to school. That's how I can be able to talk to you. That's how I can do what I'm doing. I was one of the lucky kids. But anyway, I remember my mama telling me that I have AIDS. And I want you to grow up to be a strong woman. I want you to love people. I want you to take care of your brothers. I want you to love people. My mother was a very loving woman. People could come from all over the place to come to my house because my mama would take care of them. And I remember telling myself that when I grow up, I'm going to help people. I'm going to love people. So I'm here today because of what my mama put on the inside of me. That seed that she sowed in me is what I am today. And I left home, I left my village and ended up going to the city in search of a better life. And I ended up going to this church. The church had a shed, and that's where I used to sleep, outside in a shed. And there were we have so many street children in Africa. Why? Parents are dead of AIDS, poverty, child labor, sexual abuse, so many things going on, and these kids are leaving their villages, going to the city in search of a better life. And I was staying under this shed with these kids, sleeping on cardboards, and being bitten by mosquitoes, fighting dogs and cats to get what to eat. And life was really, really hard. So the church then helped me start an orphanage. So I started an orphanage, and I got these kids off the street, brought them in this little shack, little house, took care of them. So the orphanage grew bigger and bigger, became one of the best orphanages. And I was 25. By the time I was 25 years, I had 135 children in my care.
How did you support them?
The church helped me. But also, I believe we have talents and gifts on the in the inside. So it's up to us to figure out what those talents and gifts are. So I was looking at these children individually, and then I found the talents. Oh, this one is a good soccer player. This one is a good musician. This one is talented. So I grouped them according to their talents. And these kids excelled in their fields. Some of them are now professional soccer players right now, like professional. Some of them are professional musicians in the country, you know. So the talents, and then I had to get these kids like the musician. We could go and put up shows in the city, and then we could raise money. I believe in self-sufficiency. I believe in creation. So we have to be job creators, and we don't have to depend on people. So I put that in the kids. This is your talent, use it. Right now, those kids are standing on their talents, and they're succeeding. So that's how the orphanage grew and grew and grew because of that. But then I also got help, foreign help, people started coming in. And there was a time when I had to hire so many people, and some of them were older. Most of them were older than me. I was just 25 years old, and I had 40, 50, 45 years men working for me. And unfortunately, these people that I was working with thought I was a millionaire, thought I had a lot of money, and they were older than me, smarter than me, you know. So they wanted to take over the orphanage. And it became to be a life and death situation that I either had to leave or, you know. So I had to choose my life. That's how I left the country. I just said, I'm not gonna lose my life. I'm gonna leave the country. And then I moved to the United States. But I'm also a Christian. I believe God has a good plan. So that happened to me, that I could come to the United States, that I can be able to help the people in the United States. This country needs a lot of help. You know, this country sends a lot of missionaries each year outside, but America needs a lot of help. You look in your backyard, people in your backyard, your neighbors, one in every 4 homeless people is a veteran.
Sad.
You see 4 people outside walking, one of them is somebody who went to Iraq, is somebody who went to Afghanistan, somebody who put their lives on line for us.
Yes.
You know, and they have no shoes, they have no food, they have no clothing. These are American. These are soldiers, veterans. Somebody has to do something about it. And when I learned about that, it just broke my heart. I said, this cannot
Where did you
be.
land? Where did you come into? Did you come into this area first, or did you?
No, I landed from Africa.
No, I mean, from Africa you came to this country. Where did you come to this country first?
I came to Strasbourg area.
Strasbourg. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Because that's where my husband was. I was married and lived in.
Were you married in Uganda or married here?
Married here.
Okay.
So
what did your husband do?
He was a merchant marine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you got married, and you have 2 children now,
Yes,
correct?
I do.
All right. So did you start your Friends Can Make It Happen when you came here to the United States, or was it gradually you began to see what is needed and then started going into
Yes, it was gradual. When I came in here, I wasn't thinking about doing anything. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a job, gonna go back to school, gonna have a good life, right? That wasn't the case. Then I started looking around, and I could ask myself, why is the person that way? what is going on? What is what? So I started becoming inquisitive in knowing. I wanted to know more. And then I found out that this country is full of homeless people. This country is full of children who are hungry, who go to bed hungry. This country is full of people who are struggling with addiction and drugs. And like the veterans, they come back home and they're sick and they need help. So what happened was Christmas 2015, pick up a phone, call Africa, tell my daughter, she was 15 years by then. Her name is Deborah. I said, Deborah, what do you want for Christmas? And she says, what do you mean? I say, I want to send you a present for Christmas, a gift for Christmas. And then she's like, I don't want anything. I have what I have. And she's like, what did you want to send me? I said, wanted to send you a pair of nice shoes. She said, no, Mom, don't you have homeless people in America that can use that? I said, what? She said, don't you have people in need in your area? So I started looking around. I went to my job and I asked the student, then I was working at the job course. So I asked the kids, the students, and then my staff, put up a box. People started bringing shoes. And in 3 months, October to December, I had 1,500 pairs of shoes. And then I gave those shoes to the Catholic Services, United Ways, bus station right here in Hazleton. And people were so blessed. So the next year I did the same thing again, October to December. This time 10,000 pairs of shoes from the library, from St. Gabriel, from the YWCA, from local. People were bringing in all these shoes and I'm like, okay, so what am I now gonna do? This is now too much. And I'm like, let me start a nonprofit and I can collect shoes because 300 million people in the world have no shoes. 300 million people, unbelievable. The things we take for granted in life, Sam. Yeah. When I go back to my house and open up my closet, shoes that I don't even wear. You know, ladies, we buy a lot of stuff and we don't even use it. So I went in my closet, got all the shoes and stuff, and I donated it. So we started a nonprofit called Friends Can Make It Happen. So Friends Can Make It Happen, it's all about unity and love. You know, if we are friends, there is so much we can do, right? Unity, we can do so much as friends. So we call it Friends Can Make It Happen because that's what it is, as it is. So
it's an interesting story. You talk about how blessed we are in society today, and unfortunately there are people who have a lot and still want more. And you find that people who have a little give more than those people who have a lot, okay? I don't know how that is, but when you talk about, love, that's exactly what my mother was, the same way. She just loving, she just gave and gave. She never wanted anything. And, she told me one time when I was in college, growing up, and I think you can relate to this, my friends went to a Catholic school, Mother Grace, and I came home and I said, boy, I wish I could have this, but I never said, because my mother worked 2 jobs, my father had 2 jobs. She says, honey, I can only give you one thing that's very important, and that I'll give you love. Wow. Okay, but she also took care. But the point is, when you are born and raised, certainly we've made our mistakes in life, but we're blessed, and yet we fail to realize that there's other people out there that need help, okay? And that's the sad part, where we become selfish in many ways. Folks, I'm talking to Angela McNally. Interesting story. She was born in Africa, Uganda. Her parents died of AIDS, struggled in Africa, came back here and got married, and now doing a great thing. We'll come back, we'll talk a little bit more about her goals. And how do we learn about this? What do we do? Okay, we know, she's talking about shoes. I could go down on my first floor and I could find maybe 20 pairs of shoes I'm not wearing, and I feel guilty, but these are throughout the years. And I have, we'll just take clothes and jackets and whatever, we'll find out about that. But anyway, let's put it on the screen. Friends Can Make It Happen. .org if you want to go to her website. Her phone number is 570-636-1383. We'll be back right after this. Thanks for staying with us, folks. Remember, 24/7, you can watch all of the shows we produce, Samson Productions, SSP TV. And for those of you who want to know where we're in the Pottsville area on Comcast 190 every day from 7 to 11 p.m. We're in the Wilkes-Barre market area on Saturdays and Sunday evening from 7 p.m. to 11 a.m. and the Scranton area, Lackawanna, Comcast 190, Saturday and Sunday mornings from 8 to 11 a.m. And of course, download our app, SSP TV. You search it, SSP TV. For those of you who do not have cable, which you should have, download YouTube and search SSP TV and watch all our programs. When you download all the shows that you see, they're all local programming, neighbors talking neighbors, no garbage, all good stuff. You'll understand why it's important to download our app. My guest today, she was born and raised in Africa, Uganda, family of 5, and one of her siblings died of AIDS. Her mom and dad died of AIDS. Worked, practically lived in a shelter, in a shed, worked hard, and understood what it was to give in life. My guest is Angela McNally. She is the CEO of Friends Can Make It Happen. And while we're talking here, if you have, we're talking about shoes before, all right? Now, Friends Can Make It Happen. Can you donate other stuff?
Yes, definitely.
Such a
So Friends Can Make It Happen, since we work with homeless people and needy families. So we take furniture.
Furniture?
Yes, we do. Okay. Like used furniture, bedding, and kitchen stuff. Because we have homeless people that we try to get apartments for them to resettle them back into the community. So they're gonna need the furniture, they're gonna need kitchen stuff, they're gonna need all that stuff. So we take furniture, we take coats, we take all winter items, we take shoes, we take monetary donation. So we take all kinds of stuff because we are dealing with people who are in need.
Do you take jackets and coats?
And socks and boots.
Socks and boots
and bedding.
Shoes. Yeah.
Yes, so we take all kinds of stuff. And also we have a program called Send a Child Back to School. Now you see, because I grew up in poverty, my heart is for people who are in need, people who are broken, right? So right here in Hazleton, we have families that sending their children back to school when the year is about to begin, they have a problem even to get money to buy a book bag or whatever the scholastic materials. These families really need help. So what we do is we put up a fundraiser, we collect book bags, we collect shoes, we collect pencils, erasers, all the stuff a kid needs for school. Last year we donated 200 book bags right here in Hazleton to children in need. So this is a program called Send a Child Back to School. We do it every year to reach out to those kids in our community whose families are really need help.
So how does, where do you store all this stuff? And like, how do you know where to go and who gets it? And let's assume I know a needy person, and can they call and ask for help, or how does that work?
Okay, people can call. They can call me. All the time people call me and I go reach out. I do research. What is this, the history behind this family, what is going on. I'm very interested in the root cause, right? You need to find out what exactly. It's not just about me giving you a book back. I need to know why financially you can take care of yourself. Is it that you don't know how to save? Do you have a job? How can we help you get a job? If you have a job and you don't know how to save, how can we help you so you can put some little money on the side so you can be able to take care of your child? So we go deeper. It's not just giving stuff. And to go back to your question, we do have a warehouse in Freeland. One of my co-workers at the Job Corps, so that all these shoes were coming in. And his name is Doug Hayes. He said, I do have a warehouse in Freeland and I'm not using it, Angela. You're free to bring your shoes. So we do have a huge warehouse in Freeland where all these donations come in. We have a truck, a very big truck. It was also through donation. Some money was collected and then we bought the truck. So this truck goes out and gets the donations and brings them to the warehouse. So what I do is people call, I go on the ground, make a research what is going on, and then we give the donation according to, but it's not just donation, we also get to know Why are you homeless? What happened to you? Because I'm gonna give you my shoes, but the shoes is not gonna help you. The jacket, because it's winter, it's not gonna help you. I need to know exactly what happened to you.
Are you qualified to help that person?
Yes, I'm a social worker by profession.
Okay, so in other words, now do you work with any agencies?
No, it's just Friends Can Make It Happen. That's I work with. But also I work with Catholic services.
Yeah.
Or the shelter. I send people out there. I give out information like, let's say somebody's homeless and is living at the bus station or hanging around. I pass out information, resourceful information. Are you a drug addict? There is an AA meeting here. You need a shelter? Go to Providence, go to Catholic services, go to CEO. So that's what I do. My job is to send them to those places that I know that they're gonna be able to get more help. Yeah.
So now you've had some successful stories you were talking about from you doing what you're doing right now. You've had some successful stories. Could you share with us some of those stories?
Yeah, around October when Hurricane Florence hit, we had to take a truckload to North Carolina. We loaded up the truck. I needed help. I need volunteers all the time. So I'm like, nobody's coming. I said, let me go down to the bus station. I went to the homeless people and I say, guys, I need help. I need to fill this truck with stuff and I'm driving it to North Carolina. Some guys showed up and some did not. But there is this guy, his name is Joe. So Joe showed up all the time. We packed the truck, we loaded the truck, and he's like, Angela, can I go with you to North Carolina to help you? I said, definitely. So, and Joe is 60-some years old. He was born in the area. He's been homeless for a couple of years, living down the bus station. So we go to North Carolina with Joe. We served the people of North Carolina. We went to Lamberton, North Carolina, gave them shoes, clothes. You know, it was terrible what happened over there. And then coming back with Joe, I'm like, how am I gonna, we stayed there for a week. And I'm like, how am I gonna get this guy back on the street? He's been with me, we've been these places, helping people. How? So I asked Joe, how can I help you, Joe? Would you want to go back to Hazelton? He said, I would rather not. I said, so if we find you a place to stay, would you be willing to come and stay? He said, definitely. So we found Joe a place to stay. And the next thing is he gets a job. He gets a job in Freeland. He's working in Freeland. And now Joe makes money, has his apartment right here in Hazelton. And he rides the bus to go to Freeland to work.
See, those are the kind of things that, you know, folks, I'm talking to Angela McNally. Now, she's the CEO of Friends Can Make It Happen. Now, go to their website so you can learn all about it. It's friendscanmakeithappen.org. Phone number is 570-636-1383. She'll take whatever you have. We come back, we'll let you know if some of them are tax deductible. And listen, we all know we have stuff that's just laying around that could really help some people. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Thank you so much for all of the good comments and some of those critical emails I'm getting. That's fine. I appreciate your comments. If you have any stories you'd like to have me look into, please email me at sam@ssptv.com. My guest today is Angela McNally. She was orphaned in Africa, Uganda, came here and saw what she lived a very difficult life in Africa, and now she's trying to do whatever she can as she learns. She's developed friendscanmakeithappen.org. Now, once again, your organization, what is it that you can use and how can we help you?
We can use donations like clothes. Really, we need a lot of shoes. Now it's winter. Boots, if you have any boots. We need sneakers too. We not only serve Hazelton, we also serve Wilkes-Barre. We also serve Philadelphia. We go to Philly every Tuesday, and then we give out this stuff. And one of the things that I found interesting is sneakers, tennis shoes, because they're so light. And these guys walk all day. So we take sneakers. Anybody who has sneakers, we'll take them.
Do they bring them to your place, or do you pick them up, or how does that work?
They can bring them to my place. I can pick them up.
Okay.
So it depends on the regimen. People can call me, email me,
Okay.
go on Facebook, follow us, and
So she has all the bases covered. First of all, I want to thank you, Angela, for coming on the show.
thank you for having
It's
me.
need a lot more people, that should be doing what you're doing, folks. The number is 636-1383 to find out what you can do. If you have some stuff, go to their website, friendscanmakeithappen.org, and learn more about this. And we've been so blessed. I'm sure we can do something, even if it's a $10 donation or whatever, to help other people, our neighbors. We'll see you next time.